Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair, everybody. My name is Wade, and this is my show, What I Watch, where I talk to you about what I watch and why I like it. I generally like most things, generally, but I do have to take a position about things that don't have any value or I feel like don't make the world a better place. But good news, the thing that I'm going to talk about does make the world a better place, in my opinion. And the time has come, my friends, to talk about the classic gem that is Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 1, the original Ghostbusters. All right? Now, having said that, I liked pretty much all of the Ghostbusters movie, even Lady Ghostbusters. And I say that because I know a ton of people who hate that movie and they won't shut up about it. So if you don't like that movie, that's okay. I'm not trying to make you like it. I like it. I thought those ladies were funny. They're great. Holtzman, thank you. Kate McKenna. Um, anyways, so this movie is, there's a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. All right. So it was made in 1984. So literally, I was like less than a year old. It has a runtime of an hour and 45 minutes, which I feel like is long for that era. It has an IMDb score of 7.8, which I'm really surprised, but maybe modern audiences have influenced that. It was directed by Ivan Reitman, and it was written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. I didn't know that for a lot of years. I did not know that Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd did a lot of writing together, and I appreciate you guys. I know Harold has passed, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Harold. So speaking of names, it's got quite a cast. It's got a really big cast. So obviously, we have Bill Murray, comedy legend. Dan Aykroyd, comedy legend. Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson has done a lot of really cool things that I like. I will always, I probably saw Ghostbusters first, but I will always remember Ernie for being in The Crow. And The Crow's a wonderful film. Harold Ramis, like I said, who has passed away. God bless you, Harold Ramis. Sigourney Weaver, the cast that keeps on going, right? Sigourney Weaver. Now, let me stop right there and tell you that Sigourney Weaver is one of my favorite actresses of all time because of the Alien franchise. And if somebody was foolishly quoted uh, somewhere in the 2000 teens as saying they were the first female action lead in science fiction, and they were horribly wrong. I like you, so I'm not going to mention your name. But you, my friend, need to meet Sigourney Weaver and Linda Hamilton. So there have been incredibly strong female leads in science fiction for a very long time. And I would dare to guess that Sigourney Weaver beat you on the scene by like 30, 40 years. I'm not starting a fight with you. Um, I just don't like what you said. And then joining her as a compatriot, companion, and amazing equal, Linda Hamilton for Terminator, Terminator 2 specifically. Um, Linda and Sigourney, you two are forever in my heart as amazing female leads, and I love you both. You've had a great career. I hope you feel the same way. This is not a Linda Hamilton movie, so sorry, Linda. But when I do Terminator, I will sing your praises. Rick Moranis, so funny. So Rick Moranis starts like the side characters in this movie, but so funny. Watch Spaceballs. Oh my goodness, Rick Moranis, so funny. And when I was a kid, I watched Honey I Shrunk the Kids, and he's just great. He's great. And Annie Potts. Oh my goodness, Annie Potts. Uh, you know, I don't know what her career was like around the time of Ghostbusters, if she did a lot before Ghostbusters or if she did a lot right after Ghostbusters. I definitely feel like some of the things that I love Annie Potts for are very recent things because Annie Potts, you will always be Meemaw. And I adore you and I love you for Meemaw. Um, I'm just a fan of this whole cast for different reasons. Dan Aykroyd has done a lot of things in the strange and mysterious realm. Bill Murray has just been funny for such a long time. Harold Ramis went on to do other things after Ghostbusters, but he also wrote a lot. Ernie Hudson. What's funny is Ernie Hudson actually, they make a joke in the more modern Ghostbuster movies that he took his Ghostbuster money and invested it and became like a rich technology mogul. And as far as I understand in real life, Ernie Hudson took his movie money and invested it and became some sort of mogul. So like I think it's really funny because from what I understand is that is riffing off of real life where Ernie Hudson was very wise with his money and now is in a very good position. I'm not an expert on that, but that's how I think it happened. Anyways, so that's it. Some of these numbers. The warnings, okay? So you hear me talk about this weird place in the 80s and 90s where you could get away. So this movie is rated PG. You could get away in a PG rating with some mild sex stuff. There's references there. I was too young to get it as a child. I was a very oblivious child. Um, there is mild violence there. There is a little bit of profanity. I would say all these things are mild. There is mild drug and alcohol use. And what I mean by drug is smoking. Um, there is some more intense action. So I just think, uh, I think this movie is a safe movie for your family. I just also want you to be cognizant of that. Like, there is some rough language, because it starts off with Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Harold Ramis. They all know each other in New York, and the image that New Yorkers have. They're tough and rough and tumble, and you know, Ernie Hudson does. So they make a business hunting ghosts, right? And then Ernie Hudson joins them because they're so busy that they're looking for somebody to help them run the business and be in the business. I labeled it as an action, comedy, fantasy, science fiction. Um, this movie was wildly successful, and the reason why I tell you it's wildly successful is since 1984, it has grossed $296 million. 296 million, and I have probably watched it about a million times. So out of the $296 million, I have probably watched it about a million times. um, the synopsis that I wrote for this is a team of New York scientists accidentally discover that the craze of paranormal investigations and eliminations, they accidentally discover it, but something is more to it than what they understand. If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? So I grew up watching this movie. I adored this movie. This movie is like comfort food for me, and I can quote it left and right and forward and backwards. Um, I always loved Bill Murray's character as Dr. Venkman and Dr. Venkman's personality because I related to it. He was kind of getting all of his friends in trouble and then would like leave them high and dry, but he would never really leave them high and dry. So like I did that when I was a young person. I would cause trouble. I would stir up shenanigans that would then cause repercussions for my friends. But I was always there with them to sort it out. And so I always kind of looked at myself as the Bill Murray of the crowd, the Dr. Venkman of the crowd. Um, and this movie has given me things like I have a friendship with a man named Kyle, and Kyle also loves Ghostbusters, and we quote it to each other all the time, and we pick it apart and we talk about it, and this movie is a gem. I love it. I will continue to watch it as long as I'm alive, and when I'm 94 years old and can't see straight, I will have Ghostbusters running in the background. To everyone who was involved in this film, I just want to say thank you. I know you'll probably never see this, but I just want to put it out there in the world. Thank you for this. Thank you for the franchise that it spawned, because I really do enjoy all of these movies for different reasons and to different degrees. We here at the Dragon's Lair want to say thank you for spending your time here with us at the Dragon's Lair.